So I had a pretty decent idea, maybe, I think, after I was uploading the last video. So I had got a book that I was going to read to Emma every night, but I'll start reading it a couple minutes a night to you and then load it for you for bed. Alright, here we go. Beauty and the Beast, Belle's story. From the author. I've always been a girl who loves books, and I've never stopped dreaming of adventure. So when my very own life became an amazing adventure of its own, my first thought was that I should write it all down, as it would surely make a splendid story. My tale is full of peril, transformation, dramatic battles, mystery, enchantment, romance, and in the best traditions of fairy tales, a happy ending. But unlike the fairy tales of old, my story is true, and I lived it.
Who said spoils?
Even now, I can remember each moment of my journey vividly. When I was very young, I lived with my dear father in a cottage on the edge of a town called Villeneuve. Not sure how to pronounce that. Although I was born in Paris, my father had moved us to the countryside when I was still a baby, and the village was the only real home I'd ever known. I knew every building, every cobblestone on the street, every villager. They were almost like family to me, although I confess that not all of us got along very well. The village's friar, Pierre Robert, was jolly and kind, always willing to lend a hand or a book. He shared my love of the written word and generously tolerated my pestering him for new material a few times each month. The potter, Monsieur Jean, seemed to have his mind on his work, which sometimes made him a bit forgetful of other things. Still, he was as down to earth as the clay he used to make his wares. Agatha, the town beggar, did whatever she could to get by, and I admired her for her resourcefulness. Even though Father and I were by no means wealthy, I tried to make sure I always had a little something for her. The fishmonger, Madame Clothild, had a sharp tongue and an even sharper eye for business. I'd seen her reduce grown men to tears with a glare. I always tried to be polite to her. To do otherwise was a risk of a stern lecture, which I did not always have the patience to avoid contradicting. What could I say about Monsieur Baker? His baguettes were so scrumptious, but he was a tough one to bargain with. He certainly knew which side of his bread was buttered. I found the school's headmaster disagreeable, as he did not believe girls had a place in the classroom. A ridiculous notion, as I am living proof that girls are every bit as capable as boys in whatever they put their minds to. Monsieur Gaston was a soldier in the war, having earned the rank of captain. After returning to Villeneuve, he spent many of his days hunting, though I dare say his favorite activity was flirting with the village lasses. Not that I think that they have any complaints, exactly. Monsieur Le Fou. Well, I'm not sure what he did, aside from tag along with Monsieur Gaston and do whatever he asked. Poor man. That's it for tonight. I love you. Bye. Good night.